As y'all know, it's the offseason for the Chicago Bears. We had a tremendous season going into the playoffs, losing in right before the division of the NFC Championship. But it's time to break down the steps that we need to take as the Chicago Bears and the Chicago Bears organization in order to get back to the playoffs and get closer to the Super Bowl that we all want. It's your boy Stevo. Hey, but y'all gotta hear that music first, though. Let's go.
You are now tuned in to Chicago Bears Central, your number one place for all Chicago Bears news and content.
All for tuning in for another episode of Chicago Bears Central. Is one of your hosts here, Stevo Speaks, like I said in the intro. And like I said, let's get straight into it. We finna break down steps in the offseason to improve the Chicago Bears team. And let's just start off with the obvious. I ain't gonna go into the big old things. I'm gonna kind of leave that towards the end of the video. Won't be before y'all too long. But let's get straight into it. The first order of business, I feel like, is we need to get ahead of it and re-sign and get and pay our right tackle and Darnell Wright. Quite frankly, we just seen him have a Pro Bowler, All Pro season. Even though he didn't, I don't think he made the Pro Bowl. He might have made the Pro Bowl, but I know he made the All Pro list. And we already know what it came with Darnell Wright. We knew he had all the talent, but it was just the little things, little mental errors, little false starts, holes, this, that, and the third that was keeping him from potentially getting to this potential as an all-pro type of tackle. And credit to all the additions in Joe Thuney, as well as Jonah Jackson, who's always on his side playing guard, as well as Drew Dalman at center. All those things I think contribute to him, as well as our new our new O lineman coach, who, quite frankly, and especially in training camp and things, he was brutally honest with our right tackle and Darnell Wright, and saying, bro, you got all the talent in the world, but it's mental lapse and mental focus that you're not focusing on, or mental things or things that you're not picking up that's keeping you from being an all pro. And we see just with 1 year under him, even with this being said, we all seen Darnell battle injuries throughout this whole season, mostly being in his elbow. The man had the fattest elbow guard on his elbow the entire remainder of the season. I think starting after like week 5. So him fighting through that, all the nasty pancakes, run blocking, pass protection, he has improved on all fronts. And quite frankly, that's all we've been asking for. One of the main things as a Chicago Bear fan that we've been asking for is to fix this O-line. And most importantly, it feels great because last year, a lot of the fixing happened with signing. Most of Drew Dalman, Jonah Jackson, Andrew Dalman, all were signings. Darnell Wright that's at home. We drafted him. So it feels real great for a homegrown guy that somebody Ryan Poe's picked to be it comes to fruition. That's the most important thing. There's not too many people on this roster that Ryan Poe's has drafted that's worked out for him. So for him to be one of the guys, especially one of the guys he picked, and we know all the stories we had when we went to go get him and draft him out of Tennessee. But yeah, that's the first order of business. You gotta go out there and pay that man, because quite frankly, yeah, he next to I would say next to Joe Thuney, he's our best on lineman. It is what it is, and possibly the way it's looking, he might be our left tackle. But in order for us to pay him, if you look at most of the players that's getting paid especially at the tackle position, like a Rashad Slater, a Tristan Wirth, a Trent Williams, They all getting paid 28 million, 27.55. I believe even Laramie Tunsil is making like 25 a year. So it's gonna be in a range of 28 to about $22 million that we gonna have to pay him. And quite frankly, I believe Darnell he's worth every penny of it. But on to the next one. Let's get straight into it. We all know the offense was shaky, but the most shaky thing on this whole entire team was that D line. And though they got it together the last few games of the season, it was still much to be desired throughout the season. Um, we all know who the best player on this line, which is Montez Sweat. To me, had a quiet year. We all know he had, I think, almost 10 sacks, if I'm not mistaken, if I'm not mistaken, or 9 sacks. But the guy next to him on the other side, Austin Booker, who also came along a little slower, and well, of course, dealt with an injury that took him out a nice piece of the season, then returned until midway through the season. But he started getting it going throughout. Now, the interior line is much to be desired, but quite frankly, the interior line is what it is. We got a lot of money staked up in Grady Jarrett and Dayo Amadimbo, and quite frankly, it's just nothing we could do with that. They are guys, so we're gonna have to work with that. But in order for us to fix this edge, I feel that there is two moves we can make. Now, the first move is obvious, the most main moves, the most popular move that everybody wants. Go see what the Las Vegas Raiders is talking about and go see if they're willing to trade Maxx Crosby. Now, this will be your most expensive guy because, quite frankly, if we was to make a trade for Maxx Crosby, let me get the details. I believe the cap hit after that will be $30.78 million. Now, if I know anything about Ryan Poles, if he doesn't try to go out this and make this a thing and actually have it and get this trade done, it's going to have to be a rediscussion about this contract because like I said, taking a $30 million cap hit in 2026 can hurt us. So yeah, I think we're gonna have to definitely restructure some things, but it's also going to be, so we're gonna have to give up some things as well. Now, as y'all all know, I am not a get rid of DJ person, but quite frankly, when you look at the money and you look at the situation, DJ Moore has to be a part of this trade package if it wants to happen. As we all know, DJ Moore is making top wide receiver money. Excuse me, he's getting paid to be our best wide receiver on this team. Now, what I not to say that I don't feel like he can do it, it's more catered to, that's just the system. The system is, if you know anything about Ben Johnson's system, the system is to spread the sugar, spread the ball, give it to multiple people, and that's what we seen last year. Costa Loveland got it. Cole Kmet got it. Luther Burton got it. DJ got it. Everybody got it. So in this system, I don't feel like it's ever going to be, it might in some cases, but I don't feel like it's ever going to be a chance where DJ is going to be the guy 100% of the time, especially when we got people like Roman Duze and Luther Burton on his helm who are younger, more explosive, and quite frankly, can, especially at their age, can just continue to get better than they already are, especially Rome Medusa and Luther Burden. And I think that's what we all expect as well. We expecting Rome to get in that lab and get way better because we drafted him to be our best wide receiver and he wasn't. And we expect him to get better. Same thing with Luther. Luther surprised many of us Chicago Bears fans, to be quite honest with you. But yeah, you got to go out there, and DJ Moore might have to be a part of this trade package. Now, there's a other guy you could go out there. Shout out to Bobby, who he's been saying to the more cheaper and the more reasonable route that we could possibly go at edge. We could possibly go out there and make a call to Cincinnati and go get Trey Henderson. I feel like that's a more reasonable trade that could possibly happen. And yeah, now let's get to the next topic. I don't want to really hop on that trade too much. Another thing that we possibly going to happen, I'm kind of going to group these two kind of in the same scenario, is Tremaine Edmunds and is Jaquan Brisker. Now, the reason I'm bringing these up too, Tremaine is not getting any younger, and quite frankly, the last few seasons he's shown that he's going to get injured at some point of the season. And quite frankly, if we was to get rid of Tremaine, I mean cut, unfortunately, not that I want to, but if we cut him, that's saving $15 million. And that $15 million can go a long way. Now I get it. He before the injury happened, he was on the pace of having an all-pro type of season. But like I just stated, he's not getting any older. I mean, he's not getting any younger. He's not getting any more healthy. And quite frankly, it's only going to get worse and worse from here. So I think, especially when it comes to this linebacking core and the safety core, which I'm going to get into next, we're going to have to get into this draft and draft correctly. And it is what it is. I understand a lot of people going to be like, Tremaine, no, we don't want to go. But this is the price you play when you're a good team and you got to go into the next year. If you don't win, we told y'all, if we don't win this year, the team is going to look different, unfortunately. Everybody's not going to be on the ship when we're trying to make it to shore. It just is what it is. And Tremaine might be a casualty of that, as well as Jaquan Brisker. Hey, Jaquan Brisker is going to want to get paid some nice amount of money, as well as our other safety and Kevin Byard, who's we already know, according to our head coach and our GM, which they mentioned by name, it sounds like Kevin Byard is going to be back on a team friendly type deal anyway. So with that being said, it's just going to be very difficult to keep Jaquan Brisker. And just to note, it's tough to say, even though this is probably one of his most healthy years as a Chicago Bear. The man is injury prone as hell. It just is what it is. We call him Crash Bandicoot for a reason, because he crashed and he go umdiga. It is what it is. It's not. I hate it for him, because I think for a lot of the Bears fan base, he's probably one of our favorite type of Bears. He's a Chicago type guy. He plays hard. He talk his shit. He's always there. And you don't necessarily want to see guys like that go, but when you just simply can't pay them, and you could go out there and it's a nice group of people in the draft at the safety position that you can go out to get. Hey, you got to go out there and euthanize your defense a little bit, because quite frankly, this was when it comes to age, the older players was on the defense. So this defense do have to get younger. You see what's going on in Seattle. Team is young as hell, hungry as hell, and that's the type of defense that I think we all want, to be honest. But it is what it is. But I think I'm gonna leave it right there. I'm pretty sure we're gonna drop more videos. I don't want to drop too many nuggets, because we all gonna be dropping our thoughts on some off-season deals that we need to do as a Chicago Bear. But that's my time for today. I'm gonna leave you with that. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe. We're going to drop news whenever news is meant to be dropped and going to be dropped. We're going to be active during the off season as always. But it's your boy Stevo Speaks, the Chicago Bears Central, and I'll check y'all with another one. Peace.
This has been a presentation of the Break Media.